But James, for our third and final story this week, I have posted to holyhexes.com, one of my new sites in the media monarchy kingdom covering the occult and religion in society, but it's from the Belief blog. The Vatican calls for a new global financial authority amid economic crisis. Against the backdrop of the European debt crisis and the birth of the Occupy Wall Street movement, the Vatican on Monday, October 24th, called for a new global public authority to help reform the world's finance and economic systems. New ideologies are reducing the common good to economic, financial, and technical questions, placing the future of democratic institutions themselves at risk, said Roman Catholic Bishop Mario Tosso at a Monday press conference. The document, called, quote, "Towards reforming the international financial and monetary systems in the context of a global public authority," end quote, quotes former Pope John Paul II in bemoaning the idolatry of the market. The document calls for a new global economic authority that could impose penalties on member states as, quote, a way of ensuring that they possess efficient markets, end quote, Tasso said. Some progressives embraced the Vatican's call, arguing that it sounded many of the same themes as the Occupy Wall Street movement. James, isn't that a fascinating convergence of opinions? And I'm sure wholly coincidental. So before we kind of mention a little bit surrounding that, I'll provide a couple of extra links just to kind of get into the Vatican and their looting throughout the centuries, and you can learn more about the city-state of Vatican as well as Washington, D.C. and the city of London, but also about God's banker, Roberto Calvi, and the Vatican, the P2 Masonic Lodge, and the Mafia. So James, any of those points you want to take first?
Yeah, well, let me just say, I don't care what the viewers, what religion the viewers are out there, or whether they're atheist or whatever. I'm pretty sure that the Vatican calling for a global financial system is a sign of the end times, no matter what you believe or don't believe. Absolutely, it's a ridiculous story, but unfortunately one that's just pretty obvious. I mean, it's been obviously developing for quite a while. For anyone who's been watching what the Vatican has been putting out the last few decades at least, I mean, they've been moving in this direction with their growing steps towards one world religion and one world government and one world financial authority. So we're seeing all of these steps coming out of the Vatican. And of course, the Vatican still does control the minds of 1 billion people around the world. So it's unfortunate, but as you say, I think people have to start doing the research into the history of the Vatican and what it is and where it came from and how it has garnered so much control and why it's in the position it's in, to understand why it's nexused into the very same elite banking interests that are calling for one world financial institutions, because it's really just represents a further consolidation of control on their behalf.
As, I guess, a way to tie in a sort of Occupy Wall Street update, our own Oregonian reported just 2 days ago that Occupy Portland is starting to be sort of not overrun, but many mentally ill and street kids are basically starting to kind of overtake and not infiltrate, not in that kind of provocateur kind of way, but basically, unfortunately, we have a lot of mentally ill street people in Portland, Oregon. So naturally, they're going to gravitate to where there are people to kind of be around. But as we see kind of, I guess, bad moves all around and Occupy Atlanta and all of these scenes on so many different levels, yeah, James, we see there's so many things going on. And I hope folks probably know this, New World Next Week, with the format that we do, there's no way we're the broad overview of every single thing going on in the world. And as we say with, the things that we do cover, to investigate for yourself. James, before I throw it back to you here in our last remaining moments, I want to throw a quick plug and a programming note. It's the 5th anniversary of the Media Monarchy radio show this Friday, so I want to invite folks to check out that show coming this Friday.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for that, and happy anniversary. So thank you for all the work that you're doing over there at MediaMonarchy.com. I know it's extremely valuable to me, and I'm sure many of the listeners and viewers.
Thanks so much, man.